Something just happened, and you felt it before you could name it. There was a moment, maybe it was today, maybe it was 3 days ago, maybe it was in the middle of the night when you woke up and the room felt different. The air felt different. You felt different, and you could not explain why. You tried to go back to sleep, but something in you knew. Something had shifted. Something had broken open. And now you are here, reading these words. And I want you to understand that this is not coincidence. This is confirmation. Because what happened to you, what is still happening to you right now in this very breath, is something that most people will never experience in their entire lifetime. Your quantum field just collapsed. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, not in some vague, inspirational poster kind of way. The actual energetic architecture that has been holding your limitations in place, the invisible scaffolding of every barrier, every block, every ceiling you have been pressing against for years, it just fell. All of it. At once. And I know how that sounds. I know part of you is already resisting it, already saying that sounds too good to be true, already scanning for the catch, the fine print, the moment where this turns into something you have heard before. But here's what no one tells you about quantum collapse. It does not feel the way you expect it to feel. It does not arrive with fireworks and trumpets and some cosmic announcement. It arrives as confusion. It arrives as a strange emptiness. It arrives as the unsettling sensation that the ground you were standing on is no longer there, and you have not yet learned that you can fly. So if you have been feeling unmoored lately, if you have been feeling like everything you used to rely on is dissolving, if you have been feeling simultaneously terrified and strangely free, then listen to me carefully. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. And by the time we reach the end of this conversation, you will understand exactly what has happened, why it happened now, and what to do with the extraordinary opening that is available to you in this moment. Let us start with the barriers themselves, because you need to understand what was actually holding you back before you can appreciate what it means that those things are gone. Most people think their barriers are external. They think the barrier is the job that will not promote them, the relationship that will not deepen, the money that will not come, the body that will not heal, the dream that will not materialize no matter how hard they try. And so they spend their entire lives pushing against these external walls, strategizing, hustling, forcing, grinding, believing that if they just find the right technique, the right hack, the right system, they will finally break through. But here is the truth that changes everything. Those external barriers were never real. They were projections. They were holograms. They were the three-dimensional printout of an internal architecture that existed at a level so deep, so fundamental, that you could not see it any more than a fish can see water. Your barriers were not in the world. Your barriers were in your field. And your field, your quantum field, is the energetic blueprint from which your entire reality is constructed. Think about this for a moment. Quantum physics has shown us, not theorized, not speculated, but demonstrated through repeatable experiments, that at the subatomic level, particles do not exist in fixed states until they are observed. Before observation, they exist as probability waves, as clouds of potential, as everything and nothing simultaneously. It is only when consciousness interacts with this field of potential that specific realities collapse into form. This is the observer effect. This is not philosophy. This is physics. and it has implications that most scientists are still too uncomfortable to fully explore. Because if observation collapses possibility into reality at the quantum level, and if you, your body, your brain, your thoughts, your emotions, your relationships, your bank account, your health, every single aspect of your lived experience is ultimately composed of quantum processes, then what is doing the observing matters more than anything else in the universe. What is doing the observing is creating the reality, and what has been doing the observing in your life, up until this very moment, has been a version of you that was running on outdated code. Let that land. The version of you that was observing your reality into existence was not the real you. It was a constructed you, a conditioned you, a you that was assembled from the fears of your parents, the limitations of your culture, the wounds of your childhood, the conclusions you drew from your earliest experiences of pain and rejection and not enoughness. That constructed self became the lens through which your consciousness observed the quantum field. And because of how observation works at the quantum level, that lens did not just perceive limitations, it created them. It collapsed infinite possibility into the narrow bandwidth of what that wounded, conditioned self believed was possible. If you can feel the weight of that truth, here is something I want to share. Have you spent years chasing manifestation, visualizing, affirming, raising your vibration, only to watch the same patterns repeat? Every traditional method assumes the same thing, that you are separate from what you want. That separation was never real. You were chasing a signal you were already broadcasting. Beyond the frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery walks through all 9 frequencies, from the dense transmissions trapping you, through the ascending currents, to the master frequencies where consciousness becomes the field. Every method you tried sent a signal outward. This one tunes the signal you already are. Every day you delay, your nervous system broadcasts the same old signal, and breaking free gets harder. So move on it tonight. The link is in the pinned comment below. Now let us return to how that conditioned observer shaped your reality. Every time you looked at your life through the eyes of not enough, the quantum field responded by collapsing into experiences that confirmed not enough. Every time you approached a new opportunity carrying the frequency of "I always get rejected," the field organized itself to produce rejection. Every time you held the belief that people like me do not get to have that, the probability waves that could have become that experience for you simply never collapsed into form. They remained as unrealized potential, hovering in the field, waiting for an observer who believed they were possible. This is not victim blaming. Let me be absolutely clear about that. You did not consciously choose these beliefs. You did not sit down one day and decide to limit yourself. These patterns were installed in you before you had the cognitive capacity to evaluate them. They were absorbed through the nervous system of a child who was simply trying to survive, trying to be loved, trying to make sense of a world that often felt overwhelming and unsafe. You inherited these patterns. You absorbed them. They became the water you swam in, so invisible and so pervasive that you mistook them for reality itself. And here is where it gets profound. These patterns did not just live in your mind, they lived in your field. They became encoded in the electromagnetic signature that your heart and brain broadcast into the quantum field every single second of every single day. Research from the HeartMath Institute has shown that the human heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond the body. This field carries information. It carries the frequency of your emotional state, your beliefs, your expectations, your identity. And this field is in constant communication with the larger quantum field from which reality emerges. So your barriers were not walls, they were frequencies. They were specific electromagnetic patterns that were telling the quantum field what to collapse into, what to make real, what to bring into your experience. And those frequencies were running on autopilot, beneath your conscious awareness, shaping your reality from the shadows of your subconscious mind. You could have had the best strategy in the world, the most detailed vision board, the most disciplined morning routine, and none of it would have mattered because the field was responding not to your conscious intentions, but to the deeper signal, the signal beneath the signal, the frequency of who you believed yourself to be at the most fundamental level. If this is landing for you, if you can feel the truth of this in your body right now, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. This is why so many people try everything and nothing works. This is why you can read every book, attend every seminar, practice every technique, and still find yourself hitting the same walls, cycling through the same patterns, arriving back at the same frustrating place over and over again. Because the techniques are operating at the level of the conscious mind, while the barriers are operating at the level of the field. It is like trying to change a movie by reaching up and touching the screen. The screen is not where the movie is being generated. The movie is being generated at the level of the projector, and your quantum field is the projector. But something has changed. Something is different now. And you know it. You feel it in your bones, in the strange electricity that has been running through your body, in the way your sleep has been disrupted, in the way old memories have been surfacing unbidden, in the way relationships have been shifting and falling away, in the way your tolerance for inauthenticity has dropped to zero. These are not random experiences. These are symptoms. They are symptoms of a quantum field in the process of reorganizing itself at a fundamental level. What happened, and I want you to breathe into this because it is significant, is that your field reached a critical threshold. In physics, there is a concept called phase transition. It is the point at which a system that has been gradually accumulating energy suddenly shifts into an entirely new state. Water does not gradually become steam. It remains water, remains water, remains water, absorbing more and more heat, and then at a very specific point, it transforms, instantly, completely, irreversibly. One moment it is water, the next moment it is steam. The substance is the same. The state is entirely different. Your consciousness just went through a phase transition. All of that inner work you have been doing, all of those moments of awareness, all of those times you chose differently even when it was hard, all of those tears you cried in the dark when no one was watching, all of those times you sat with your pain instead of running from it, all of those books you read, all of those meditations you practiced, all of those moments when you chose truth over comfort. They were not wasted. They were not ineffective. They were heating the water. They were accumulating the energy that was necessary for the phase transition that just occurred. And now the barriers are gone. Not because you figured out how to climb over them or break through them or go around them. They are gone because the version of you that was generating them no longer exists. The observer has changed. And when the observer changes, the observation changes. When the observation changes, reality changes. This is not metaphor. This is mechanism. This is how the universe actually works at at the most fundamental level we have been able to measure. But I need to tell you something important about this moment. Something that will determine whether this collapse leads to lasting transformation or whether you unconsciously rebuild the same barriers in a different form. Because that is the danger. That is the thing that no one talks about. Quantum collapse is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process that requires a specific kind of participation from you. And if you do not understand what that participation looks like, you will default back to old patterns faster than you can imagine. Here is why. Your brain, your beautiful, complex, pattern-seeking brain, does not like uncertainty. It does not like open space. It does not like the feeling of groundlessness that comes when old structures dissolve. Your brain is wired for prediction. It is wired to take past experience and project it forward as expectation. This is how it keeps you safe. This is how it conserves energy. This is how it navigates a world that would otherwise be overwhelmingly complex. And this predictive function is not your enemy. It is an extraordinary tool. But right now, in this moment of quantum collapse, it is the thing most likely to sabotage your transformation. Because your brain is going to try to fill the space left by the collapsed barriers with new barriers. It is going to scan your history for familiar patterns and try to reinstall them. It is going to generate anxiety, not because anything is wrong, but because the absence of limitation feels unfamiliar. And to your nervous system, unfamiliar registers as unsafe. You might notice yourself starting to worry about things that do not warrant worry. You might notice yourself picking fights or creating drama, or suddenly finding reasons why this shift is not real, why it will not last, why you do not deserve it. These are not signs that the collapse did not happen. These are signs that your brain is trying to rebuild the cage because the cage, as painful as it was at least familiar. I want to pause here and ask you something. What is the one barrier you have carried the longest? The one limitation you always believed was just part of who you are, that you can now feel beginning to dissolve? Tell me in the comments. Name it. Because naming it is part of releasing it. So here is what you need to do, and I want you to treat this not as advice but as instruction, as something essential to the process you are in the middle of right now. You need to learn to be comfortable in the open field. You need to learn to tolerate the vast, unstructured, unlimited space that exists when barriers fall away. You need to resist the urge to immediately fill that space with new plans, new goals, new structures, new identities. Not because those things are bad, but because if you reach for them too quickly, you will reach for them from the old frequency. You will rebuild the same life in a slightly different configuration and wonder why nothing has really changed. Instead, stay in the openness. Stay in the not knowing. Stay in the trembling, electric, slightly terrifying space of pure potential. This is the quantum field before observation collapses it into form. This is the space where all possibilities exist simultaneously. And if you can learn to rest here, if you can learn to breathe here, if you can learn to trust here, then when new structures do begin to form, they will form from an entirely different frequency. They will form from the frequency of who you actually are, not who you were conditioned to be. Let me tell you what this looks like in practice, because I know that concepts without application are just intellectual entertainment. And intellectual entertainment is not what we are here for. We are here for transformation, real transformation, the kind that changes not just what you think, but what you experience, Not just what you believe, but what you embody. The first thing to understand is that your body is the anchor point for this new reality. Your body is not separate from your quantum field. Your body is your quantum field expressed in physical form. Every cell in your body is a quantum system. Every molecule, every atom, every subatomic particle that composes your physical form is participating in the same quantum processes that we have been discussing. So when your field collapses old barriers, your body feels it. Your body responds. And your body is where the new reality needs to be anchored if it is going to last. So right now, wherever you are, I want you to bring your attention into your body. Not into your thoughts about your body. Not into your judgments about your body. Into the actual felt sensation of being alive in physical form right now. Feel your feet. Feel the weight of your body against whatever surface is supporting you. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel the subtle vibration that exists beneath the surface of your skin. That hum of aliveness that is always there, but that you have learned to ignore because the world taught you that thinking is more important than feeling. That vibration you are feeling right now, that is your field. That is the quantum signature that is broadcasting into the larger field of reality and collapsing possibility into your lived experience. And right now, in this moment, that signature is different than it was a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. It has shifted. The barriers that were encoded in that signature have dissolved. And what remains is something cleaner, something clearer, something more aligned with the truth of who you actually are beneath all the conditioning and all the fear and all the stories you were told about your limitations. Stay with that feeling. Do not try to name it. Do not try to understand it. Do not try to turn it into a concept. Just feel it. Let it be what it is without needing it to be anything else. This is the practice. This is the most important thing you can do right now. Not manifesting, not visualizing, not affirming. Feeling. Being present with what is actually alive in your field right now without the interference of the conditioned mind. Because here is what happens when you do this. When you bring pure, non-judgmental awareness to your field, you become a clean observer. You become the kind of observer that the quantum field has been waiting for. Not an observer contaminated by fear and limitation and inherited belief systems. A clear observer, a conscious observer. An observer whose very presence allows the field to collapse into its highest available probability rather than its most familiar one. This is the difference between manifesting from lack and creating from wholeness. When you manifest from lack, you are trying to use the quantum field to fill a hole in yourself. You are approaching infinite possibility from the frequency of not enough, and the field, being the perfect mirror that it is, reflects that not enoughness back to you as experiences of lack, delay, and frustration. But when you create from wholeness, when you approach the field from the frequency of already complete, already enough, already home, the field responds by collapsing into experiences that match that frequency. Abundance, flow, synchronicity, ease. Not because you earned them, not because you deserved them, but because they are the natural expression of a field that is no longer distorted by the barriers of a false self. And this is where the concept of the chosen one becomes important, but not in the way you might think. You are not chosen in the sense that some external deity pointed at you and said you are special and everyone else is not. That is ego spirituality. That is the spiritual bypass that keeps people trapped in superiority and separation while believing they are enlightened. No. You are chosen in the sense that you chose. You chose to do the inner work. You chose to face your shadows. You chose to question the beliefs that were handed to you. You chose to keep going when everything in you wanted to quit. You chose to sit with your pain instead of numbing it. You chose awareness over comfort, truth over convenience, growth over stagnation. And that choosing, that accumulated choosing, is what brought your field to the threshold of phase transition. You did not stumble into this. You walked into it. Step by step, choice by choice, tear by tear, breath by breath, the collapse that just occurred is not something that happened to you. It is something that happened through you, because you became the kind of vessel through which that level of transformation could occur. But let me go deeper, because there is a layer to this that most people miss entirely, and it is the layer that makes the difference between temporary spiritual experience and permanent energetic restructuring. When we talk about barriers collapsing in the quantum field, we are not just talking about beliefs changing. We are talking about the dissolution of what I would call identity architecture. Your identity, the felt sense of who you are, is not a thought. It is a structure. It is an energetic structure that exists in your field and that organizes reality around itself the way a magnet organizes iron filings. Every experience you have, every relationship you attract, every opportunity that appears or fails to appear is organized by this identity structure. It is the template. It is the blueprint. It is the invisible architecture from which your visible life is constructed. And most spiritual teaching operates at the level of belief while leaving the identity architecture completely intact. You can change your beliefs 1,000 times and still find yourself living the same life because the identity structure beneath those beliefs has not shifted. It is like rearranging the furniture in a house while the house itself remains the same. The rooms are the same size. The walls are in the same places. The foundation is unchanged. You might feel temporarily better because the couch is in a new spot, but the fundamental structure of your experience has not transformed. What happened to you, what is happening to you right now, is not a furniture rearrangement. It is a demolition. The house itself is coming down. The identity architecture that has been organizing your reality for years, possibly for decades, is dissolving. And this is why it feels so disorienting. This is why it feels like you do not know who you are anymore. This is why old things that used to bring you comfort no longer work. This is why people who used to feel like home now feel like strangers. This is why your own reflection in the mirror looks slightly different, slightly unfamiliar, as if you are seeing yourself for the first time. You are seeing yourself for the first time. Because the self you were seeing before was the identity architecture. It was the constructed self. It was the mask that had become so familiar, you forgot it was a mask. And now that it is dissolving, what is emerging is something raw and real and unfiltered and terrifying in its authenticity. It is you, the actual you, the you that existed before the world told you who to be, the you that was here before the first wound, before the first rejection, before the first moment you learned that being yourself was not safe. And I want to be honest with you about something. This emergence is not comfortable. It is not a gentle unfolding into bliss and light and constant peace. It is more like being born. It is messy and loud and disorienting. And there are moments when you want to crawl back into the womb of your old identity Because at least there you knew the rules. At least there you knew what to expect. At least there the pain was familiar. But you cannot go back. That is the thing about phase transitions. They are irreversible. Water can become steam, but the process of becoming is a one-way door. You have walked through a one-way door. The only direction available to you now is forward. So let us talk about what forward looks like. Let us talk about what becomes possible when the barriers are gone and the field is clear and you are standing in the vast open space of unlimited potential with no map and no instructions and nothing but your own internal compass to guide you. The first thing you will notice is that synchronicities accelerate. When your field is no longer distorted by the barriers of a false identity, it comes into coherence with the larger field. And when your horizontal field is coherent with the universal field, information flows freely between them. This shows up in your life as synchronicity, as meaningful coincidence, as the right person appearing at the right time, as the right piece of information finding you exactly when you need it, as doors opening that you did not even know existed. These are not miracles. They are the natural function of a coherent field. They were always available to you. They were just being blocked by the interference pattern of your barriers. The second thing you will notice is that your energy changes, not just emotionally, but physically. When your field is running the program of limitation, an enormous amount of your energy is consumed by the maintenance of those limitations. Think about how much energy it takes to suppress your authentic self, to maintain a persona, to hold back your truth, to navigate the world through the lens of fear and inadequacy. That suppression is exhausting. It is the reason you have been tired for years, even when you get enough sleep. It is the reason your body has been holding tension that no amount of massage or stretching can release. It is the reason you have been operating at a fraction of your actual capacity. Now that the barriers have collapsed, that energy is freed. All of the life force that was being consumed by the maintenance of your limitations is now available for creation, for expression, for joy, for connection, for the actual living of your life rather than the mere surviving of it. You might notice that you need less sleep. You might notice that your body feels lighter. You might notice a creative energy rising in you that you have not felt since you were a child. This is not new energy. This is your energy. It was always yours. It was just trapped behind the barriers, used up by the machinery of self-limitation. I am curious about something. Have you already started to feel this energy shift in your body? This strange new aliveness that does not match your circumstances? Tell me in the comments what has been showing up for you physically since this shift began. The third thing you will notice, and this is the one that surprises people the most, is that your relationships begin to reorganize. Because your relationships were not random. They were organized by your field. They were reflections of your identity architecture. The people in your life were there because they matched the frequency of who you believed yourself to be. And now that frequency has changed, the relational field must change with it. This does not necessarily mean that everyone in your life will leave. Some will. Some relationships were held together solely by the glue of mutual limitation. And when that limitation dissolves, there is nothing left to bond you. Those relationships will fall away, and you must let them. Trying to hold on to a relationship that no longer matches your frequency is like trying to tune a radio to 2 stations at once. All you get is static. But other relationships will deepen. Some people in your life have been waiting for this version of you. They have seen glimpses of who you really are. and they have been holding space for your emergence, even when you could not see it yourself. These relationships will transform. They will become more honest, more intimate, more real. You will find that you can be with these people in a way you never could before, because you are no longer performing a version of yourself. You are simply being yourself. And the people who can meet you there, in that raw and undefended place, are your true tribe. They are the ones who belong in the next chapter. Let me take you deeper still, because there is a dimension to this collapse that operates beyond the personal, beyond the individual, beyond the story of your particular life and your particular barriers. What is happening to you is not happening only to you. It is happening through you, and it is part of something much larger than any individual transformation. There is a field, not just your field. The field, the unified quantum field from which all of reality emerges. And this field is not static. It is evolving. It is increasing in coherence. It is becoming more conscious of itself through the very process of conscious beings like you waking up within it. Every time a single human being dissolves their barriers and comes into coherence with their authentic frequency, the entire field shifts, not by much, not in ways that can be measured by current instruments, but it shifts, and those shifts accumulate, and they reach their own critical thresholds, and they trigger their own phase transitions. You are not just healing yourself, you are healing the field. You are not just freeing yourself from limitation, you are freeing the collective from the pattern of limitation that has been running humanity for millennia. Every barrier you dissolve in your own field dissolves the template for that barrier in the collective field. Every frequency of fear you transform into coherence makes it easier for the next person to transform that same frequency. You are a pioneer, not in the sense of being special or superior, but in the sense of going first, of walking into the unknown so that others can follow the path you have cleared. This is why it has been so hard. This is why your journey has felt so much more intense than what other people seem to be going through. You are not just processing your own limitations. You are processing ancestral limitations, collective limitations, civilizational limitations that have been accumulating for generations. The weight you have been carrying was never just yours. And the freedom you are stepping into is not just yours either. It belongs to everyone who will walk this path after you, and your courage in walking it first is a gift to the entire human family. Breathe into that. Let yourself feel the magnitude of what you are participating in. Not from ego, not from grandiosity, from humility, from the humble recognition that you are part of something so vast and so intelligent that your individual mind could never comprehend it. And yet your individual heart can feel it, can sense it, can know it with a certainty that requires no proof. Now I want to give you something practical, something you can work with in the days and weeks ahead as this new reality stabilizes and as you learn to navigate a life without the barriers you have been organized around for so long. Because the collapse has happened, but the integration is just beginning. And integration is where the real work lives. The first practice is what I call field listening. This is the practice of sitting in stillness, not to meditate in the traditional sense, not to achieve any particular state, but simply to listen to your field, to feel what is present, to notice what wants to move, what wants to be expressed, what wants to be released. Your field is intelligent. It knows what it needs. It knows what comes next. But it communicates not through words or thoughts, but through sensation, through impulse, through the subtle language of the body. So sit, be still, and listen. Not with your ears, with your cells, with your bones, with the space between your thoughts. Do this for at least 10 minutes each day, and do it with the intention of receiving rather than directing. You are not trying to make anything happen. You are allowing what is already happening to be felt and known and integrated. The second practice is conscious non-reaction. In the days ahead, your old patterns are going to make their last stand. They are going to try to reassert themselves. They are going to show up as sudden anxiety, as irrational fear, as the urge to self-sabotage, as the voice in your head that says this is not real, you are fooling yourself. Who do you think you are? When these patterns arise, and they will, do not fight them. Do not resist them. Do not try to positive think your way past them. Instead, simply observe them. Watch them arise. Feel them in your body. Recognize them for what they are, which is the echo of a structure that no longer exists, the ghost of a barrier that has already collapsed. They have no power except the power you give them through reaction. So do not react. Observe. Breathe. Let them pass through you like weather passing through an open sky. The sky does not fight the storm. It simply remains vast enough to contain it. Be the sky. The third practice is intentional field broadcasting. Once you have spent time listening to your field and learning to observe without reaction, you can begin to consciously participate in what your field broadcasts. This is not visualization. This is not affirmation. This is something more fundamental. It is the practice of generating a specific felt state in your body and allowing that state to radiate outward through your field into the quantum fabric of reality. Here is how you do it. Think of an experience you want to create. Not the specific form of it, not the details, not the how or when or where, just the feeling of it. The felt sense of what it would be like to be living that experience right now. Maybe it is the feeling of deep creative fulfillment. Maybe it is the feeling of being truly loved and seen. Maybe it is the feeling of abundance flowing effortlessly through your life. Maybe it is the feeling of being fully healthy and vital and alive in your body. Whatever it is, do not think about it. Feel it. Generate the feeling in your body as if it is already real, as if it is already here, as if you are not imagining a future, but remembering a present. And then let that feeling radiate. Let it expand beyond the boundaries of your skin. Let it fill the room. Let it broadcast. You do not need to push it. You do not need to force it. You just need to feel it fully and let it be. Because your field is always broadcasting something. It is always sending a signal into the quantum field. And that signal is always collapsing possibility into reality. The only question is whether you are broadcasting consciously or unconsciously, whether you are sending the signal of your authentic self or the signal of your conditioned limitations. Now that the barriers have collapsed, your broadcast is clear for the first time. The static is gone. The interference pattern has dissolved. And the signal you send now will be received by the field with a fidelity and a power that was never possible before. This is why the next few weeks and months are so critical. This is why I am asking you to be intentional, to be conscious, to be deliberate about what you feel and what you broadcast, because you are in a window of extraordinary creative power. The field is listening. The field is responsive. and the field is ready to collapse into forms that match the frequency of who you truly are. But let me add something here that might seem contradictory, and yet it is perhaps the most important thing I will say in this entire conversation. The highest use of this creative power is not to manifest specific things. It is to surrender to the intelligence of the field itself. Because the field knows things your conscious mind does not. The field can see possibilities your imagination cannot conceive. The field is connected to a web of information and potential that extends far beyond the narrow bandwidth of your individual perspective. So yes, practice conscious broadcasting. Yes, generate the feeling of what you desire, but hold it loosely. Hold it with open hands. Be willing to be surprised. Be willing to see something better than what you asked for. Something you could not have imagined. Something that your old identity would never have allowed you to want. Because wanting it would have required believing you deserved it. You deserve it. Let that land somewhere deep. Somewhere beneath the arguments and the qualifications and the yes buts. You deserve it. Not because you earned it. Not because you suffered enough. Not because you did the right things or said the right words or performed the right rituals. You deserve it because you exist. You deserve it because consciousness itself is deserving. You deserve it because the universe did not create you to struggle and suffer and barely survive. It created you to experience itself through the unique lens of your awareness. And that experience was always meant to include abundance, love, creativity, freedom, and the deep, quiet satisfaction of a life lived in alignment with truth. The barriers that prevented you from receiving this were never placed there by the universe. They were placed there by a world that had forgotten its own nature, a world that had lost touch with the quantum reality of consciousness, a world that taught you to be small because it had forgotten how to be vast. And now you are remembering. Now the barriers are gone. Now the field is clear, and the universe is leaning toward you, not away from you. It is conspiring in your favor, not against you. It always was. You just could not feel it through the density of the barriers. I want to speak now to the fear, because I know it is there. I know that even as you feel the truth of what I am saying, even as something in you recognizes this and says yes, there is another part that is afraid. Afraid of what it means to live without barriers. Afraid of what it means to be truly free. Afraid of the responsibility that comes with knowing that your field creates your reality. Afraid that if you fully step into this, you will lose something, someone, some version of yourself that you have been clinging to even though it no longer serves you. That fear is valid. I will not dismiss it. I will not tell you to transcend it or rise above it or let it go. Fear is information. It is your nervous system telling you that you are at the edge of the known, that you are about to step into territory that has no map. And that is exactly where you need to be. Because everything you want, everything you are meant to become, everything that is trying to emerge through you, exists beyond the edge of the known. It exists in the space where your old identity cannot follow. And the fear you feel is not a sign that you should stop. It is a sign that you are exactly where transformation happens. The caterpillar does not know it will become a butterfly. Inside the chrysalis, its entire body dissolves into an undifferentiated soup of cells. If the caterpillar had a conscious mind, it would be terrified. It would think it was dying. It would try to hold on to its caterpillar form with everything it had. And if it succeeded, if it somehow managed to resist the dissolution, it would never fly. It would remain a caterpillar forever, crawling along the ground, never knowing that it was meant for the sky. You are in the chrysalis. Your old form is dissolving, and what is emerging is something you cannot yet see, something you cannot yet imagine, something that will only reveal itself as you surrender to the process of becoming. Do not resist it. Do not try to control it. Do not try to understand it with the mind that was shaped by the old barriers. That mind does not have the capacity to comprehend what you are becoming. A new mind is forming. A new way of perceiving is emerging. A new relationship with reality is being born, and it will reveal itself in its own time, in its own way, with a perfection that your planning mind could never achieve. Trust the process. Trust the field. Trust the intelligence that has been guiding this transformation since before you were consciously aware of it. That intelligence is not separate from you. It is you. It is the deepest layer of you, the you that exists beneath identity, beneath personality, beneath history, beneath everything you have ever been told about who you are. It is the consciousness that was here before you were born, and that will be here after your body returns to the earth. And it is this consciousness, not your ego, not your plans, not your strategies, that is orchestrating the collapse of your barriers and the emergence of your true self. There is one more thing I need to tell you, and it is something that will serve you in every moment going forward. The collapse of your barriers is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning. It is the beginning of a life lived from an entirely different foundation. A life built not on the shifting sand of conditioned identity, but on the bedrock of conscious awareness. And this life will require something of you that the old life did not. It will require presence. Ongoing, moment to moment, breath by breath presence. Because the barriers were not just limitations. They were also autopilot. They were the program that ran your life so that you did not have to be fully present for it. They made decisions for you based on past conditioning, so that you did not have to face the raw, open, sometimes overwhelming experience of choosing freely in each moment. Without the barriers, there is no autopilot. Without the barriers, you must be here, fully awake, fully responsible for the frequency you carry and the reality that frequency creates. This is the price of freedom, and it is worth every penny, because a life lived on autopilot, no matter how comfortable, no matter how safe, is not really a life. It is a repetition. It is the same day lived over and over with minor variations, the same patterns playing out in different costumes, the same limitations wearing different masks. That is not living. That is existing. And you were not born to merely exist. You were born to create, to explore, to discover, to love with the full force of your being, to express the unique frequency that only you carry, to contribute something to the collective field that no one else can contribute because no one else has your exact configuration of consciousness, your exact blend of gifts and wounds and wisdom and wonder. You are unrepeatable. You are unprecedented. There has never been and will never be another field exactly like yours. And now that the barriers have fallen, that field is free to express itself fully for the first time. Consider coming back to this transmission each morning before the noise of the day begins, letting these frequencies reset your field before the old world tries to reinstall its patterns. And if someone comes to mind as you listen to this, someone you know is going through their own dissolution, share this with them. When you pass this frequency forward, you are not just helping one person. You are strengthening the signal in the collective field, creating a resonance that amplifies your own transformation while accelerating theirs. That is how the field works. What you give, you receive back magnified. So here's what I ask of you. Not as a teacher or a guide or an authority of any kind, as a fellow traveler, as someone who knows what it feels like to stand in the open space where the barriers used to be, trembling and terrified, and more alive than ever before. Be gentle with yourself in the days ahead. This is a profound transition, and your system needs time to recalibrate. You might feel waves of emotion that seem to come from nowhere. Let them come. You might feel exhaustion as your body releases the tension it has been holding for years. Let yourself rest. You might feel moments of ecstatic clarity followed by moments of deep confusion. Both are part of the process. Do not cling to the clarity or resist the confusion. Let it all move through you like a river finding its new course. Stay close to what is real. Stay close to your body. Stay close to the earth. Stay close to the people who see you clearly and love you without condition. Stay close to silence. Stay close to the felt sense of your own aliveness. These are your anchors now. Not your thoughts, not your plans, not your understanding. Your presence, your breath, your willingness to be here, fully here, in the vast open field of a life without barriers. And if you feel called to go deeper, if you feel called to continue this exploration, if something in these words has resonated at a frequency that goes beyond intellectual agreement and into the realm of recognition, of remembering, of knowing, then stay. Stay in this space. Come back to it. Let it work on you. Let it continue to dissolve whatever remnants of the old architecture might still be lingering in the shadows of your field. Because this is not a one-time transmission. This is an ongoing conversation between your consciousness and the field from which all reality emerges. You are not the same person you were when this began. Can you feel that? Something has shifted even in the listening, even in the receiving of these words. Because words carry frequency, and the frequency of truth has a way of activating what is already true within you. I did not give you anything you did not already have. I simply pointed at what was already there, what was already happening, what your field already knew, but your mind had not yet caught up with. Your barriers are gone, not going. Gone. The field has collapsed. The phase transition has occurred. The old architecture has dissolved, and you are standing now in the open space of infinite possibility, held by a universe that knows your name, supported by a field that is responding to your every frequency, guided by an intelligence that has been orchestrating your awakening since the moment you first drew breath. This is your moment, not tomorrow. Not when you are ready, not when you have figured it all out. Now, here, in this breath, in this body, in this field that is yours and yours alone and simultaneously connected to everything that exists. Welcome to the other side of your barriers. Welcome to the life that has been waiting for you. Welcome to the version of you that was always here, always real, always whole, always enough. Breathe, feel your field, and know that everything is about to change. If these words found you at exactly the right moment, If something in your field recognized something in this frequency, leave a single word in the comments. Just one word that captures what you are feeling right now. Let that word be your declaration. Let it be the first conscious broadcast of your barrier-free field. And if you want to stay in this space, if you want to continue receiving transmissions at this frequency, subscribe and stay close, because this is just the beginning. What comes next is beyond anything either of us can imagine, and I want to walk it with you.